Today, I'm going to talk about a category of whiskey that I'm not that into. These are the best 10 rye whiskeys that I've come across. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Brad's Bourbon Reviews. I'm Brad, and today, like I said in the intro, we're just going to get into it. I didn't do an honorable mention this time. I just want to go ahead and get into these whiskeys. If you guys know, I'm not a big rye whiskey fan. It's one of those categories for me where it's like, it's really hit or miss. But let's go ahead. These are my top 10. These are my favorite ryes. A few things to take into account before we get into this. I have not tried every rye whiskey, and if there's one that you think I should try, comment down below. 2, this is just my opinion. And if the bottle that you hate is on this list, that's fine. And if there's a bottle that you love that you wanted to see on this list, that's fine too. I'm all into trying something that I haven't tried before. These are in no particular order except the last two. The last two, number 1 and number 2, are my two favorite ryes that I've ever had. So enough talking, let's get into it. Number 10. We're going to start with one here that I haven't talked about in a long time. I really liked it the first time I tried it, and this is Old Ezra. This is out of Lux Row. I believe that they are a sourcing distillery, at least when this was released, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, produced in Indiana. Their distillery is in Kentucky, and I got this at the distillery the day it dropped. We happened to be there that same exact day. It is a 7-year straight rye whiskey. I actually prefer it to the Old Ezra 7-year bourbon. I think this is a much better bottle than that is. This comes in at 114 proof. It's full proof, and it's really damn good. So if you haven't tried one of these, I think they're about $100. I think that's what we paid for it at the distillery. I would say try to find one. They're really good. Moving on to the next one. Gonna go ahead and get this one out of the way. This is Sazerac Rye, specifically a single barrel pick. The variation in this wasn't a ton, but it was enough to notice that there was a difference in it. I really like these notes. It's super orangey. It makes a great cocktail. This is one of my favorite whiskeys to mix with. If you can find the single barrels, I recommend it. They're different enough to warrant a little bit of extra cost that's there. I think I paid like $40 for this. Wasn't bad at all. And I just really like it. And I found out recently that the reason I like it is because this is like a barely legal rye. It's like 51% rye or something from Buffalo Trace. So that explains why I like this bottle a lot, because I do like it. And the bottle design, I mean, people talk about gorgeous bottles. I don't think enough people talk about Sazerac Rye. It is a gorgeous bottle. If you haven't tried Sazerac Rye yet, it's pretty available now, I believe. I know some places still can't really get anything Buffalo Trace, but I see this sitting on the shelves now. So if you haven't tried it before, give it a shot. You might like it. Moving on to the next. This is one I haven't done a proper review of yet, and I wanted to try it because I was getting bottles for this list, and I wanted to try it before I did a review of it just to see if it fit this list, and it actually does. This is the Prideful Goat Straight Rye Whiskey 6-year cask strength, coming in at 116.8 proof. Bottle number 1966 and batch number 4. If you haven't tried this yet, I highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to do a proper review of it coming up soon. This is Randy from Bourbon Real Talk, Randy Sullivan. This is his brand, and it's MGP, but it's the 95.5 MGP. It's just really, really good. This works at this proof point. I really, really like it a lot, and it's great. So if you haven't tried these yet, I would recommend doing so. I got mine on sale. This is literally a $20 bottle for me. A liquor store in the Orlando area had them on sale for $20. So if you live in Orlando, comment down below. I'll let you know where to get it. I mean, even if you hate the bottle, $20 for a cask strength rye that you could make cocktails with at 116.8 proof. I mean, how do you not do that? I still think, even though trying it, I would pay the full retail price. I really, really like it. Plus, supporting a fellow content creator and someone as cool as Randy was awesome. So shout out to you, and Prideful Goat's dope. Moving on to the next one. These are going to get progressively a little more hard to find, I believe. I think, well, that Old Ezra might be too. I don't know. But this next one is, and I apologize to you, Matt. I know you're watching this video. You told me how much you hated this after I recommended it, but I stand beside it. This is the Bullet 12-year rye. I love this bottle so much. 12-year brings in a lot of that barrel. I really, really, really like this one. It's really solid. And this is also the MGP. Bullet Rye is like the whiskey that made MGP 95.5 popular. But it's just really good. Like, I really like it, and it's $65 for a 12-year rye. My only complaint is I wish it was a little higher proof. It's 92 proof, so it's really low. I still think the flavors in there are really, really solid. And again, if you haven't tried this one, try it. These are pretty much available everywhere. I mean, most stores should have them. If you haven't tried it yet, give it a shot and let me know what you think if you do try it. Moving on to the next one. On to another brand that I really, really love. And I actually have I think it's called the Van Dusen, the new rye release from them, to do a review of, so I haven't tried it yet. But this is Redwood Empire Rocket Top, bottled in bond. I really, really like this stuff. It's really, really solid. Comes in with a mash bill of 87% rye, 5% wheat, 5% malted barley, and 3% corn. So This is batch 2. I love this bottle, man. I'm a big Redwood Empire fan. I really like what they do. I really like the whole they plant trees thing. I really think that's really, really cool. The artwork on each one of their labels is just insane. I mean, like, look at this. It's truly just unbelievable artwork that they do. I love it. And I have not had a single bottle from Redwood Empire that I didn't like. Even the one that I was a little critical of, the Grizzly Beast, which wasn't my favorite. It was just not my favorite of Redwood Empire stuff. I mean, I think that everything other than that, I would still recommend Grizzly Beast, but it just wasn't my personal favorite. But I really, really like Rocket Top. It's one of my favorite bottles that I reach for rye. I love it so much. You can't beat it. At least batch 2. Batch 2 slaps. So if you have not tried Rocket Top from Redwood Empire yet, I highly recommend you do so. Moving on to the next one. We'll do these next 2, then we'll go into the 3 allocated ones. This bottle, I was at a tasting at a friend's house, and somebody who was involved with this brand came, and I tried it, and we had tried an insane amount of crazy legendary stuff that night. And this, for me, stands up to the best ryes I've ever had. This is Hemingway Rye. It's a blend of straight rye whiskeys seasoned in rum-finished Oloroso sherry cask. 90% of it is Indiana 95 rye, and 10% is Kentucky 95 rye. So a little bit of a blend here, and it's really, really solid. The bottle's beautiful. I love like the faux typewriter keys on here. I think it looks really, really solid. And I believe this is a Florida brand too. So this was pretty dope. Yeah, bottled by Hemingway Whiskey Company, Lakeland, Florida. I'm going to have to look up and see where they're at. This bottle is phenomenal, and it stood up to some really heavy hitters. So the people at Hemingway, you got one. You nailed it. This is fantastic. Moving on to the next one. This is the last allocated, hard to find bottle. But this is Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye. This is like a $32 bottle. I have gone through probably 2 or 3 of these. This is my preferred bottle to make cocktails with. It drinks great neat as well, but this makes an incredible old-fashioned. If you've been around the channel for any amount of time, you know I love Jack Daniel's, and this is not the only Jack Daniel's Rye on this list, but it is one of the cheaper ryes on this list. This actually technically might be the cheapest rye on this list, and it's one of my favorite of all time. I love this one. I actually prefer this to the barrel proof rye. I think this is just an exceptional bottle at a great price point, and Jack Daniel's crushed it with this. Moving on to the next one. We'll just go ahead and keep it in the family with Jack Daniel's. This is the Jack Daniel's twice barreled special release for 2020. Crap, I forget what year this was. 2023? Yeah, 2023. I love this bottle. This has a really weird nose to me in a great way. It smells like Twizzlers, and I really, really like it. I love double oaked anything anyway, but this one is just an exceptional, exceptional bottle. And if you have not tried these, I know these are kind of expensive, like on the secondary if you can find them, but I highly recommend doing so if you can find one, because these are really, really good. And if you're going to overspend, this is a good bottle to overspend on because it rocks. Moving on to the next one. All right, my second favorite rye of all time, and this is a very specific one, okay? This is a Midwinters Night dram from High West Distillery, a blend of straight rye whiskeys finished in port barrels. This is Act 11. This one, Scene 7, not that it matters, but Scene 7. I love this bottle. This is like Christmas. It reminds me of, this is a very specific note too. It smells and reminds me of like when you were a kid going to the mall and having to go to that store Kirkland's with your mom, and it like smelling like Christmas in there, and like it's got a very nostalgic feel to me. I love this one so much. This is a special bottle. I don't bring it out very often. I haven't had it in quite a long time, but I do love this bottle very, very much. It is a fantastic bottle. I do not like all Midwinters Night drams. It is specifically Act 11. The ones I've had from Midwinters have been very hit or miss, but this one is a hit all day. Moving on to the last one. By far and away, the most difficult bottle to find on this list. Thomas H. Handy Straight Rye Whiskey. This is the best rye whiskey I've ever had. I've had Sazerac 18. It doesn't even come close. This bottle is absolutely incredible. I got this in the ABC Vault program. It was like $140 after tax. 124.9. This is last year's release. And I'm telling you something right now. This is the best rye I have ever had. And I just realized how messed up my glass is. Jesus. Look at that. They got a chunk out of this thing. What did they do to this bottle? I just now noticed that. Holy crap, ABC. I might have to take them back and have them get me a new bottle. This is nuts. But this bottle is absolutely incredible. So if you can ever find how did I not notice that? If you can ever find a Thomas H. Handy at a reasonable price, because it is BTAC, these go for crazy amounts of money on the secondary, but if you can find a Thomas H. Handy, I highly recommend you do so, even if you're not a rye fan, because I'm not typically a rye guy, but this is the best bottle I've ever had. So that rounds out the list of the top 10 best ryes of all time to me, and I want to say thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it very much. I have a link to my Patreon in the description down below if you were interested in that. There's a lot of fun stuff going on over the Patreon, so if anyone who considers that, I appreciate it very, very much. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below, let me know what bottle I missed on this list, and let me know what your favorite ryes are down below. Make sure you subscribe as well. If we can hit 2,500 subscribers by the end of 2024, we're going to do a 3 allocated bottle giveaway, and we're getting pretty close to 2,000 subscribers. And thank you guys for doing that, and I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, cheers. A big thank you to all the Patreon supporters you see on screen right now.